Alrighty. I think we'll just start jumping into it. It's just a lot of the first couple of slides again are just basic housekeeping stuff that I just want to go over. Just it's not just a metro-based thing; it's also across the rest of the state as well. But I just want to start off with the acknowledgement of country. So Football Queensland acknowledges the traditional owners of the land on which we play, referee, coach, administer, and watch football, and recognise their continuing connection to the land and community. We pay our respects to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander cultures and to elders past, present, and emerging. Alrighty, so just this is the agenda we're going through tonight, guys. Like I said, housekeeping stuff is just the first basic couple of things. I just want to quickly go through some player equipment thing. A lot of things have been pointed out to us down here in the metro area, and I'm sure it's across the rest of the state as well, that it needs to be covered. I want to just go over some fourth official and /AR1 duties. Player descent, which seems to be picking up a fair bit as well at the moment. And the last bit that I want to cover is on communication and teamwork. Alrighty, jumping into it, just with appointments, guys. Okay. Just to help out our support officers across the state. If you get your appointments, if you can just confirm or decline those appointments as soon as you receive it in scheduler, that would be fantastic. Alrighty, so just for the appointments, like I said, just make sure we can confirm or decline those appointments as soon as possible. In the Metro, appointments come out on the Wednesday nights for the following week. And if you have not confirmed by the coming Monday, then you will be removed from the game. I think that's just a system that we're trying to get in. So really, you've got a few days to respond to that. And it's more so just so we can get referees on those games. It's not a case of you're waiting 2 days out from the game and going, oh, yeah, no, I'll just set that one up. I haven't decided yet if I haven't got plans, blah, blah. That's how we're working. We're working 2 weeks out at the moment, especially with the amount of games we've got to cover. And like I said there, if your plans have suddenly changed and you cannot officiate your confirmed game or games, can you please let us know ASAP? Obviously, things do happen. Life does happen too. You just give us a message. Let us know as soon as possible. If you fall ill, or an emergency has occurred the day of the game, which does happen too, please call. And this is for the Metro guys. That's the number down the bottom there, for the Metro guys only. So that's the Brisbane guys. For all other areas across Queensland, in your region, you need to contact your local RCDO/support officer for your region. Okay. It's really important, guys, because when it comes to not just getting those referees on the games, but also coming to your payments process too, we just got to make sure we've got it covered. And for areas such as, I'm just going to use Wide Bay as an example here. Chris Cobban doesn't know what's going on in Harvey Bay sometimes because there's just that distance there. That's just an example there. There's just that distance there. I'm sure he knows. You usually get someone on the call all the time, but it's just so we've got it covered, guys. I just want to bring this one as well to everyone's attention, just with social media. It's not just coming as a teacher's perspective and a teacher's point of view, dealing with students as well, but it's also coming as an adult's point of view too, especially with the industry we're working in, of course, football. Okay, please can I ask that we limit the amount of impact we put on social media and forums? I don't mind what you share. I don't mind if you're a Manchester United supporter. I don't mind if you're Liverpool supporter, this, that. I'm just talking about comments in forums. I understand a lot of referees would and should feel emotional about certain incidents. These days, it's all too easy to voice our opinions on social media platforms. Referees already have enough of a difficult time dealing with abuse from participants within our game. As we step out onto the field, the last thing we need is to fuel this culture of blame the referee for policing the laws of the game through social media. And I just really want to, because we have had a couple of incidents. If the incident is serious from your game, and I don't care whether it's before kickoff, and I'm sure Mark doesn't too, so before kickoff, during the game, or after, please can you fill in an incident report and send it in? Football Queensland has released a Protect Our Game campaign with the 3-strike policy process. Please may I ask that we follow that and we trust the process on this too. And it's definitely working at the moment. I definitely know that this system is working at the moment with the amount of incident reports that we do have coming in, and it's being dealt with at the moment too. So please just keep the consistency going with that. Alrighty. I just want to move on to mainly law 4, okay, guys, which is your player's equipment. So we're talking about safety here. All items of jewelry, necklaces, rings, bracelets, earrings, leather bands, rubber bands, etc., are forbidden and must be removed. Using tape to cover jewelry is not permitted. So this includes referees with jewelry as well. So we're not allowed to cover it with tape. And we always, and Mark mentions it too, we always referee for the next week's referee too. In this sense, I already had a couple of games myself where a couple of players hit me up saying, "Oh, but the referee last week let us do this." And it's a case of we need to be all across the board on this. And I know we say every single season, but if we let slip that 1% here, it's just continuating for the rest of the season as well. So we just got to make sure we're picking up on that. The players must be inspected before the start of the game, or the start of the match, sorry, and the subs before they enter the field of play. If the player is wearing or using unauthorized, dangerous equipment or jewelry, the referee must order the player to remove the item or leave the field of play at the next stoppage. Okay. A player who refuses to comply or wears the item again must be cautioned. All right, but please use common sense here, because I know a lot of players use a bit of banter as well when it comes to it. Please use a bit of common sense when this occurs as well. But again, it's something that we talk about every single season. I hate that. I feel like a lot of the time we're a stuck record when we start talking about this. But if we just get some consistency across with this too, it picks up and we're able to keep with the flow. So same with this. The compulsory equipment of players comprises the following separate items. Obviously, we have a shirt with sleeves. Okay, so if a player rolls them up, and yep, I've had a couple of players do it too, we've got to ask them to roll it down. This isn't basketball, okay? We're playing football here. Just roll those sleeves down. Obviously, got shorts, socks, tape or any material applied or worn externally must be the same color as part of the sock it is applied to or covers. Red for red, orange for orange, pink for pink, white for white. Black doesn't go on white, or green doesn't go on red. That doesn't work. Okay, so we just got to be consistent with that too. Shin guards must be made of suitable material to provide reasonable protection, and footwear. Colors, the two teams must wear colors that distinguish them from each other and other match officials, and the match officials. Each goalkeeper must wear colors that are distinguishable from the players and match officials. If the two goalkeepers' shirts are the same color and neither has another shirt, the referee allows the match to be played. Okay. Undershirts must be, and this is a big one at the moment, I understand. If we have any issues around this too, just make sure you say, for example, you've had a game on the previous weekend, just make sure you shoot Mark and I an email if you've got a couple of queries about this as well. A single color, which is the same color as the main color of the shirt or sleeve, this is for your undershirts, or a pattern / color, which exactly replicates the shirt sleeve. Okay, undershorts, tights must be the same color as the main color of the shorts or lowest part of the shorts. All right. So if we're wearing red shorts, if we play for Olympic FC, we're wearing red shorts, they're going to be wearing red skins. Okay. It's pretty, again, sound like a stuck record. I feel like we go through it almost every single season as well. And it's about those 1%ers, guys. If we let slip these 1%ers here, it just rolls and rolls and rolls. It starts snowballing until the end of the season. We get to finals, and as soon as like one referee picks up in finals, everyone starts chucking a hissy fit. And we're not the fashion police in this instance here. We just need to make sure we're all doing this little 1%. Okay, so moving on though, we have started implementing again the use of fourth officials in the NPL and NPLW. All right. I just ask if you have any questions, just chuck them in the chat, and when we reach the end of the segment, I'll have a quick look through in case there's any questions that we can bring forward to the group. All right, so fourth official duties. Apologies, guys. It will be a little bit death by PowerPoint for a few slides, but just bear with me. Okay, so Law 6, the other match officials. So in the Football Australia Laws of the Game, it's on page 39 if any of you want to use that now. Other match officials, 2 assistant referees, fourth official, 2 additional assistant referees, and reserve assistant referee may be appointed to the matches. They will assist the referee in controlling the match in accordance with the laws of the game, but the final decision will always be taken by the referee. The fourth official's assistance also includes supervising substitutes procedures, checking a players / substitutes equipment, the re-entry of a player following a signal approval from the referee, supervising the replacement balls, Indicating the minimum amount of additional time the referee intends to play at the end of each half, including extra time, and informing the referee of irresponsible behavior by technical area occupant. Right. In this as well, guys, we're all working as a team. So as a fourth official, you got to be fully prepared. You got to have your equipment and your uniform. Participate in pre-game meeting, that pre-match instructions or pre-game, and making sure you participate in the pitch inspection. You've got to check all the match balls. Most of the time, the referee will expect the fourth official to make sure to check all match balls. I know for a fact last week I was with Zach and we were at Brisbane City. They had 7 match balls and we took out all 7 match balls because of that creek that's on the backfield of Brisbane City. Just make sure we're checking all of those. They were all the right size. We chose the best match ball to use, which is provide the referee the starting game ball. We chose the best one and we used that for the game. Check the substitution board if you've got one, and also fill out the team sheets. Okay. All that's online now. Make sure you're just filling out the substitute information in your notebook before the game begins. It really helps with your time when you want to do the substitutes any point of the game. Interaction with the club officials. So interaction with the club officials need to take place in the lead up to the commencement of the match. Okay, it's not necessary that this occurs immediately prior to the kickoff. You want to make sure you got effective communication, introduce yourself to the coaches, and discuss with coaches any game procedures. When I say game procedures, I mean, what you expect of substitutes, what you expect of the benches, okay? Prior to kickoff, walk onto the field as a team, dress the same. If you need a jacket, place it in the location before the game, okay? As fourth official, you do have a fair bit more time than your referee and assistant referee. Just chuck your stuff at halfway and you can get changed after you've done your walkout. We do the ceremonial coin toss, perform final check of technical areas, and indicate to the referee for readiness. So everyone's ready, thumbs up, let's get going. Responsibilities during play. Keep a full record of the game, including substitutions, cautions, expulsions, and goal scorers. Notify the referee for any obvious mistake or unseen incident, and you need to control the technical areas. Responsibilities during play and managing the technical area. So you need to remove any unauthorized individuals from the area. These days, you've got the tags to help you. Even reading the team sheet before kickoff, write down the number of substitutes and coaches that should be in the technical area, and that should help you before going out for kickoff. Choose your time to respond and use your presence if necessary. Okay. When we say choose your time to respond, just make sure you're not, and we put it in term here. We say don't poke the bear or don't wake the sleeping dragon. Okay. If a coach has one spray and then turns away and sort of stops, let that one go. If he has a spray, turns away, goes back, keeps going, then make your presence known, go over, have a chat with them, try and de-escalate the situation as well. It's just about making that your presence known, especially to the coaches within the area. Of course, moving forward, if you need to inform the referee of any improper behavior that's going on the bench, monitor and prevent water bottles thrown onto the field, monitor substitutes who are warming up so that they're not using balls. This goes if they want to train, and there's some football clubs here and across the state too where they have the other side of the fence, so they have another field on the other side that they're able to warm up as well. They could probably go kick a ball on that side of the field there. It's too far away from the field. It's only if it's on that sideline area there or behind the goals as well. Just make sure they're not using balls. We've got to make sure the bibs are the subs are easily distinguished from players. So we want to make sure the bibs are worn. I know a lot of the guys these days have different color jackets too. They may even wear jackets over the top just to distinguish them from the players. We've got to ensure the medical personnel only enter the field of play on referee signal, and ensure that players leave the field of play for treatment and do not return to the field of play until they've received permission from the referee. Moving on with responsibilities during substitutions. The substitute must be listed on the team sheet. Make sure we check that. We're checking the player's equipment. You can easily do that as well before before kickoff or even after kicks have occurred. You can just have a quick chat to the benches. Stand at the halfway line. Usually I get them to stand behind me before the sub's being made and then step forward in front of me when we're trying to get the sub sorted. Keep the sub on the respective bench sides. Keep sub procedures for each team separately. Number coming off first and then number coming on second. If sub boards are present, if you're lucky, okay, number coming off is in red and number coming on is in green. Right, the sub must leave first and then the player can go on. And make sure you're recording the time of the substitution. When we look for like further on too, when we're looking at equipment issues and blood situations, we've got to ensure players have been instructed by the referee leave the field of play. The player should not return to the field until the issue is resolved and they have received permission from the referee. Monitor blood rule or correct illegal equipment. Ensure corrections to equip/bleeding have been fulfilled or completed. Okay. Just make sure it's all done before they go on the field of play. I know most referees too, especially if it's a blood incident, if they've had to change shirt, if they've had a cut above the eye or something and they've needed to fix it, and they're able to come back on, the referee usually calls them over just to double check nothing's going to occur as well, and they're able to continue without any other further incidents occurring as well. But in this case here, if there are no fourth officials, okay, AR1 has these responsibilities if there isn't a fourth official, okay? So that's why I'm also giving this out to you guys tonight too, is because these are things assistant AR1s should be covering as well. Just because we're running a line and we're in front of the benches doesn't mean we're invisible. We're there to make our presence known as well. So the coach is speaking up, make sure we're having a chat to him too, make sure we're de-escalating the situation. If there are substitutes that need to be involved, AR1 should be involved in those as well, unless asked by the referee on certain occasions. Sometimes they usually let you take a break. But yeah, make sure your AR1's are taking responsibility over that as well. Just quickly, I just want to make sure we didn't have any questions in regards to that before moving on. Do we have any questions from that at all, Mark?
No, mate, they've all been answered as we've gone along, but nothing to do with that stuff.
All right, excellent. Too easy. So I want to move on to something that, whether it be, I still think it's got something to do with COVID and football coming back, long delays. Sorry, give me a tick. All this wet weather that we've had as well. It's making a lot of players disgruntled. And unfortunately, the closest people that they're able to take it out on the field is, of course, us. Okay, so we want to cover some player dissent and really I want to just cover the difference between dissent versus frustration with the players. Again, please put your questions in the chat, and we'll reach at the end of the segment, and we'll discuss it as well. So, frustration versus dissent. Frustration, the feeling of being upset or annoyed as a result of being unable to change or achieve something. Okay, this usually occurs within like the 1 to 30 seconds of a situation. So we say 1 to 30 seconds because, and we'll use this as an example here. A player gets fouled, is hurt, is on the ground. Their reaction, of course, is going to be delayed until they get up, pretty much until they get up, and that's how they're going to react. And usually they're going to react to either us, with what the situation was, or whoever the closest player is as well. And we can jump on that straight away. Sorry, guys. So frustration, game situations where players could feel frustrated, lost possession, missed shots, their teammates, being fouled, obvious. I think one main one, and probably if we've got a few player referees too, it's sometimes referee decisions. So I just want to reach out and ask you guys, what referee decisions would a player be frustrated about? Okay, and I want you guys to put this in the chat too. And how do the players react? How do the players react to that? I just want to access that chat quickly as well because my screen decided to separate from it. Give me 2 seconds, guys. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes just to respond to that. If you just want to pop it in that chat, everyone, and we'll be able to go through, what referee decisions would players be frustrated about, and how, in situations you've had in games, how have those players reacted? Okay, so we got caution, send off, handballs, high foot, offsides against, yep. Non-decisions on clear fouls, call against their team, yep. Or call they just don't agree with. Close goal, no goal decisions. Yep, close offside calls, non-penalties. These are all good ones. Yep, this is one I was thinking of too, is throw-ins. We always get the occasional everyone whinges about a throw-in that's at the halfway line. Dangerous play. Yeah, cool. Yeah, corner kicks, goal kicks, all that as well. Yeah, and how do players react? I think that's a good one there. Somebody, Shane, saying taking out frustration on other players. You know, we move on from what they think sometimes is a foul and it isn't, and then the closest thing they're going to take their frustration out of is not going to be a yell, it's going to be a reaction they're going to take out on the players. Okay, and I think another reoccurring one that was occurring there too, which is just coming out, is a lot of the offsides. A lot of the offside, everyone seems to be having dissent with that, and it comes to there is a situation, there is a video that I've got there too. We just got to make sure we've all got our backs there too. You know, make sure the referees are looking after the assistant referees in those situations if the dissent is shown. Okay. All right, I'm just going to go back to the share screen. So how can we react in these situations? You know, we all get this situation happen to us every single game. Okay. Where we call a decision, somebody comes running over straight away and they're screaming at your face. I think Mark and I had a preseason laws of the game explanation with one of the football clubs here in Brisbane, and one of the questions from one of the players, I actually thought it was a really good question, was you know, when we're not happy with the decision, how do you want us to approach the referee? You know, like there's a penalty they missed. You know, they use that as an example, and the first thing I said to him was, well, the first thing we're thinking in those situations too is, oh no, we missed something, or oh, let's process something's going through our head. The last thing we want is a player coming in screaming at us. I said, so in that process there, take a breather yourself, because we're also taking a breather. And I actually had the opportunity to referee that team, and that player remembered that, and he used that situation. We had a situation in the game. He actually used that, and he had a chat to me at halftime about it as well, which was quite good. But we just want to remain in how can we react? We want to remain calm, understanding. We want to make sure we're approachable as well. Just give a short explanation of what you've seen. Okay, quick short explanation. They don't need a full length story. You know, a quick one is usually, yep. Sometimes I use, yep, agreed, you got the ball, but you went straight through the play to get it, so you still got the legs straight through it to get the ball. And they're usually pretty understanding with that. And you just got to be honest. A lot of the times we're not going to see everything, and some players don't understand that, but some do. But just be honest, because sometimes we miss something. Own up to it and say you'll keep an eye on it next time. All right. And just like the picture says, be like a duck, you know, calm and collected above water, but paddling furiously below. Again, moving forward, hopefully this isn't frozen. No, there we go. So I think, like I said, I used a couple of examples just before. And what are some key words you use during a game, you know, while communicating to players? Maybe it's not from a foul. Maybe it's a player's asked you a question on the run and they're a little bit frustrated. You're responding to them. Maybe it's just commentary you're able to run through the game. Just pop them in the chat for us again, guys. I just want to, you know, it's something I want to cover, and something I want to see if we're all doing it, and see if we're able to, you know, we can educate each other on these ones as well. Maybe there's something that Cameron does that I don't, and I just want to try it out in my game, or something I do in my game and Cameron wants to try it out. So just pop them in the chat when I'll give you a couple of minutes on that one as well, guys. If you need any assistance, I think Adrian's put here, call Jake Beath. He's the master of a one-liner. I can agree with that, Adrian. I think we got, a good one here, especially for AR. My AR is in the best position to make the decision. That's in regards to offsides. We've got explaining the most responsible player, not always the captain, and next stoppage of play. That way you're both calm, having time to catch breath. Emotions aren't as high. Be smart, relax. This is what we're saying to players. Be smart, relax. Not worth losing skin over. Adrian, not today. Are you watching the same game that I am? Those are good. Yeah, they're good one-liners. Nobody died. Yep. Again, AR has the best angle. These are, and especially when it comes to those offsides, and a lot of the time it does come to those offside calls. Attackers think they see the line, but they don't actually. Didn't see it. Didn't see it that way from my angle. Yep, that's a good one. The view from my angle, I saw contact with the ball, or not every time a player falls in a contest is it a foul. Spent half time. Let's get on with it. Yep. Oh my goodness. Would you like my glasses? That'd get a good laugh. Yep. Such a thing as normal football contact. I do love the good bit of banter on here as well. I understand you. Do you speak Russian? Beautiful. I saw it differently. Let's agree to disagree. Usually there's those battles that you just can't win. The battles that you just can't win, and you just got to agree to disagree. Okay, and most of the time the players do. They just go, "Yep, we'll just agree to disagree." They'll shrug their shoulders and they'll continue with it as well. Alrighty, so that's a good one too. Yeah, nah, that's always a good one. Oh, okay, so moving on, we've got dissent. Now, dissent is mandatory by a yellow card. Dissent, a public protest or disagreement that's verbal and/or physical with a match official's decision, punishable by a caution, so a yellow card. Dissent is an insidious disease. Ignoring dissent does not solve problems. It makes them worse. If you do not deal with dissent, it creates serious doubts in the minds of the players about who really is in charge of the match. Effective match officials do not tolerate dissent in any form. They exert their personalities on the match and simply refuse to accept dissent against them and their colleagues. Immediate and strong action is required. Don't allow players to show dissent to ARs. You need to be supporting your team as well. Okay, I did mention that just beforehand too. We just got to make sure we're all on the same team here, guys. Make sure we're stamping that out straight away. Everything I've just grabbed here as well, guys, is in the laws of the game. Okay, all this information here as well. It's in the laws of the game. Just quickly though, I just wanted to go through with the dissent. Okay, and a lot of you guys, and this was just a quick little snippet I just bring forward. If you guys want to take a quick photo of this as well, because I know I've received a lot of questions in the past couple of months. In competitions, all under 23s. Okay, we're talking NPL under 23s, FQPL 1 under 23s, NPLW under 23s, FQPL 2 under 23s, FQPL 1 under 23s. Same with the ladies. And below, including all juniors, or FQPL 3 and below, including all juniors. When the yellow card for dissent is shown, it is followed by 10 minutes in the sin bin for that player. And you've got to remember the sin bin guideline, which is on the screen there. Okay. And just so we are clear too, the yellow card dissent sin bin for 10 minutes is not in the NPL. It's not in the NPL, not in the NPLW, FQPL 1, FQPL 2, and FQPL 1 women's. Okay. So I just wanted to get that covered too. Just because we had a lot of questions around that as well. So hopefully you got a quick snippet of that just then. Just give you 10 more seconds on that.
If you haven't, ask your RC for the sticker that goes on the back of yellow card.
Yeah, then we'll get them out to you. Right, I've got some examples of dissent here. Okay. The first example that I'm going to present is an example of dissent to the referee. I'm just going to make sure that my volume is not up too loud. Okay. Okay, I'm going to play that one again. Just want to make sure we're stamping that one. This one's an example of dissent to our assistant referee. Okay. Sorry, just a word of warning though, there is a bit of swearing in this. I thought I'd just give a explicit language warning. There we go. Let's play that one again. There we go. So as an example of dissent to the AR and the referee dealing with that situation there, you know, making sure we're all feeling part of the team. Okay. This one's an example of dissent to the referee in regards to a player coming from a distance. Okay. Just keep an eye on the Olympic FC player that's just coming from your left-hand side of the screen after the incident here. Righty, and let's play it again in case somebody else missed the player that's coming in. Okay. I just wanted to cover again. I just wanted to cover those three different scenarios there, especially that last one there. Let me know when we have mass confrontations. Usually, what sparks it even further is the player that usually comes in from a distance. So it's the same thing with dissent here. If the player's coming in, and that's almost like a good 10 meters, the player's coming in to have an absolute dig and have a dissent about the foul, we just got to sort it out straight away. Okay. So we need to jump on that, especially considering these the past few weeks. I've been seeing a lot more, especially from a lot of the players. I've also been seeing a lot more from reports that are coming in too. So if we stamp it out now, we referee like we always have said, we referee for the referee next week. Okay, we hopefully will start seeing less and less of this dissent occurring as well. Alrighty, I just want to cover any questions we had from just that frustration, the dissent and frustration segment that we just covered there. Anything in the chat? Oh, I think one question was checking that dissent sin bin is in FQPL W2. Yes, that is correct. It is in FQPL Women's 2, the seniors and under 23s. Yeah, all good. Too easy, Kev. Righty, any more questions on dissent and dissent versus frustration, guys?
It's really important that we get this right, guys, because we're getting a lot of different reports from incidents and red card reports where our integrity unit is telling us, hang on, guys, these referees are looking at dissent and unsporting the wrong way. So we've got to get this right.
We got two questions that came in. So we had one was, you know, obviously the dissents that were shown on the screen there. Those examples were shown within 30 seconds of a situation. Obviously, we have the difference between being frustrated and what we could see the difference between being frustrated to what the dissent was shown. It was actually shown, all three of those examples there were shown to an official, to the referee. Most of the time, they're usually just quick up in the air outbursts and it stops. but these ones were directly to on the occasion 3 different officials, including that one where a player who wasn't the last one there, player who wasn't even involved in the situation, came 10 meters across to get involved in the situation just to show a sign of, disrespect and dissent in the game. And then the other question was, when does questioning a decision by coaches cross the line to dissent? I think that's a good question, and jump in if you want as well, Mark. I always use the for me, I always tend to use like the three sort of 3-step policy. I usually explain myself to the coach. If the coach is still going off, then we go, okay, cool, we just need to settle it down now. And then obviously the third one, if he's still going up, boom, we're going over, we're sorting it out straight away. And it depends on that severity. It's always in between around that like 10, 20 second mark that I'm usually using the 3-step process as well. As well as, we can all tell the difference between what a low dissent is, as in like, when they question a decision and it just stops and it fizzles, or when it's just consistent, it just keeps going and going and going and going. Do you have anything to add on that one there, Mark?
Yeah, Paul, what I'd probably say is most coaches, like players, will let their thoughts be known. But if it continues after a minute and they're directly undermining your authority, we still have the obligation that we need to deal with it. Whether that is a process of going across and having a conversation, giving the coach a warning, subject to what is said, and if you feel it is over the line as a person, as an individual, then you can caution straight away. There is the process that we try and communicate first, common sense, but there is also coaches out there that choose not to listen, and sometimes they only will react when we sanction them. So generally, like players, coaches will react to an incident within the first 30 seconds to a minute. It's when they continue to undermine your decision making and your authority in the game and or your ARs, you need to deal with it. Hope that helps.
Mark, I just want to jump in on this. Usually a coach who's being saying things he shouldn't be saying has got 4 or 5 players near him hearing him saying something, and if he's not going to be cautioned, those players also, particularly the younger ones, will be thinking, oh, if he can say it, I will say it. Then when they get on the field, they suddenly get a caution and they don't know why.
But that's also why I said, Peter, that we need to deal with the coach, and that may be a warning, maybe a conversation. We just don't unfortunately, there's a few of us that just bury our head in the sand when our coaches are getting overly animated. So it needs something to be said to a coach, whether it's a warning or whether it's a sanction. We need to let our coaches know that they're stepping over their boundaries.
I think one other question that was asked on there too was what is the I think you explained what the integrity team was saying, what we were getting wrong. Can you just explain what they were saying we're getting wrong again?
Okay, so there's 3 different questions that I'll try and cover at once. The integrity team are saying that we're getting our sanctions incorrect for unsporting versus dissent, because it's players talking to each other rather than undermining the referee's authority. That's where we're going wrong, unsporting versus dissent. Talking about coaches that make threatening statements to referees after the game. If you are still on the pitch, you have not left the field of play, send the coach off. It's a red card, full stop. If it's after you've left the field of play, must be an incident report. We have several coaches now that are on several weeks suspension because of what they've said after the game. Filling out an incident report for caution for coaches, no. If you look at the team sheet, at the bottom of the team sheet, you can put in Y2 for coaches. You don't need an incident report for a coach. It's on the team sheet.
You could do send-offs for coaches as well on there. That will come through on your send-off reports as well.
So have a look at the bottom. When you're filling in the team sheets, there is an opportunity to sanction coaches at the bottom of the team sheet. You don't need an incident report. The only time we expect to see an incident report in respect to yellow cards is if for some reason you put a Y1 in the Y2 category, it will automatically create an R7. Then we need an incident report that we flick on saying, I put it in the wrong column. that coach or that player is not going to get suspended because I made the mistake. Hopefully that covered the questions.
Yeah. I'm just going to give it 10 more seconds just in case somebody else has another question put on there. Then we'll move forward as well.
But I can't stress enough that burying our head in the sands for the behaviour of coaches is no longer acceptable. We are trying to clean the game up. That is why we've put in the 3 strikes policy, and it's up to us as a whole group of referees. There's 70 people on tonight to start communicating that across the board to our other referees. We as Football Queensland will back you as referees when incidents happen, but we need to know about them.
Yeah, I think the big thing there as well is speak up, and we spoke about that earlier too. Like earlier on at the start of the meeting where I said about, put social media. If we have an incident that occurs from the game, please put it in as an incident report. That occurs before the game, and then also anything that occurs after the game. That could even be, multiple occasions we've heard, referee was going to his car and the coach even said something to him and the referee was going to his car. Like, even if it's something like that, there's those little things as well. And again, it's the aggression, like we spoke about just beforehand, threatening and, the aggression that's coming out there as well. Just make sure we're popping those through and just trust the process, guys. Really, that's what I just want to add to that too, is really just trust that process. Okay, just because and a lot of the time it is, and we're all part of that. We want to see that final outcome. Okay, we want to see what it is. Just because you've written something in and that's it, and you haven't heard anything, doesn't mean it's not happened. Okay, just if you've got it in writing, it's better to have it writing than not have anything at all. Okay. Alrighty, just moving on to the next segment, which is the last one. Okay. And this is communication and teamwork between officials, and I'm talking all officials here. Again, please put questions and responses in the chat. And we got a little section at the end to discuss it too. Mark, if you just want to copy and paste that that forms bit and pop that in the chat too. Don't open that just yet, guys. When it gets in there, just give it a tick. Sorry, I just had an extra bit that was just at the bottom there. Someone said same for parents after the game minus the cards. Obviously, if we have incidents from certain teams like fans, etc., or like after the game, okay, we pop them. Yeah, parents are the ground officials problem. Yeah, but if we got them, if they're approaching them after the game, we've still got to put it in that instant report for that behavior. So just quickly going back to the relationships between, communication and teamwork between the officials. This is really big, and especially building culture is a huge thing across the whole state of Queensland. No matter what region you're in, is huge. Obviously, in regions like Wide Bay, like Cairns, like Mackay, you're most likely going to be refereeing with the same guys week in, week out. You form a really good relationship with those guys, and because you see them every single week. Here in Brisbane, South Coast, Sunny Coast as well. Sunny Coast have a really good, they got really good relationships with each other as well. Here in Metro, because we're so vast and we're so widespread as well, we'll be refereeing with different referees almost every single weekend. But we've just got to all feel part of the family. I think that's why I just wanted to hit on this topic between relationship between the communication teamwork. So relationships between referees and their assistant referees. Relationships should be built on trust and mutual respect. These conditions are essential if the officiating team is to operate at an optimum level. Referees must accept that they are in charge with the responsibility of controlling the matches. They should accept this responsibility, make decisions, and not force or allow their assistants to make the critical decisions. Assistant referees offer their opinions and assist the referee. All right, I just want to start with that point. Now, what I'm going to ask you guys to do, if you could please just fill in that forms that's just in that chat there. If you can all just open the chat up and click on that forms, and if you can complete that form, it should take you about a minute, 2 minutes tops. I just want to collect some. You don't need to provide a name. Don't stress about that, guys. We're not going to go find out who put what in there. It's more so I just want to find out statistics. Okay, I just want to find out what's been, what's happening across the board. Okay, and this isn't just so I know what's going on Metro. This is the whole of Queensland. This is so we've got on board what's happening across the whole of Queensland. I'm getting some good responses on that one as well, guys. I know you guys have put some questions in there as well. One thing that I just wanted to put in there, guys. I just wanted to check to see, and like this is why I just want to find out the statistics here is because I want to find out, if we are communicating with one another before the game, making sure we're doing those pre-match instructions, making sure, at halftime we're discussing, key match decisions. We're not all just reaching. We're not all just reaching for our phones, going straight to Snapchat, going straight to Instagram. We're in a room with possibly sometimes here in Brisbane, you're in a room with 3 new referees every single weekend. Okay, it's a great opportunity to start, meeting new friends, building relationships that, building some strong connections. Okay, over the years, I think, from where I used, and I'm just gonna use myself as an example here. I used to referee just at one football club for God knows how many years, and then finally I got my driver's license, started going to a couple of others, and then that's how I started meeting my referee friends down the track as well. That's where we started building our connections. I met Adrian, I met Linda as well, who started building our our pathways where we were going. Then we met, going to senior football, we started meeting, Doug Prentice and moving up those ranks as well. But we're all in the same group. So all the guys like I went through with Cammy Fawcett, Dan Olsen, all those guys as well. And I think if I went to a referee's room and I was just sit on my phone, or if I just didn't talk to these boys, I just don't think we'd be where we are today. So I'm just wanting to make sure we're all across the same page there. Alrighty, so key match decisions where a referee will need the AR's opinion. Guys, I just want you to put in the chat there some key match decisions. I'm going to get 30 seconds. It's 30-second quick hotline. I want you to just put key match decisions where a referee will need the AR's opinion. Okay, where we as referees, we want to rely on that. Offside, off the ball instance, no goal, sent for the bench, instance from behind the referee, ball out, penalty kick not seen by ref. Yep. Penalty, scramble the box, off-field incidents, close to the line incidents. Excellent.
Brad, while they're just filling this out,
yep.
There was a question about how to deal with coaches who are using AR to question some of the decisions by the referees on the field. It's important that if you're AR1 and the coach is continually questioning the behaviour, the decisions of the referee in the middle, ask the referee to come across and have a chat to him. Unless that coach is refereeing the game, he should be focusing on his players and not the referee. So let's deal with them. AR1, call the referee across, have a conversation with the coach, and let's see if we can quieten them down a little bit. Hope that helps, Vicky.
Okay, we've got a lot of backplay instance, in or out of penalty area, penalty kick, offside descent, backplay. Okay, coaches, benches. All right, sweet. So I think one thing that popped up a lot on there too was the off-ball incidents. Okay, it's something that's it's occurring recently. Off the ball instance where the referee had no visibility or hearing of the incident, but the AR did. Okay, this will require the AR to provide the information of the incident and the referee to give the correct sanction. All right, and not dealing with it is not an option. So this will also be followed up with a send-off report if you're sending a player off from both the referee, who will provide the details of what he saw and dealt with post-incident, and then leaving a comment in there too of AR will provide details in their send-off report, because then the AR will also need to provide a send-off report with the details of what they had seen from the incident. Okay. And that's where, and I just want to, I'm adding in there, that's where we build our trust as well as referees with, as a whole team, as a whole, is we start building that trust. If you've never worked with an assistant referee before and they've spoken up, that's huge. They've got the guts. They've got the strength to step up and say something about it as well. Alrighty, so I've just got one incident here. I don't know if Joey and Daniel, I know Daniel's online. He gave me a little spray beforehand. But Daniel's online, so we might just get him to talk through just this incident after we've watched the video. This is in regards to Gold Coast Knights versus Gold Coast United game. That was a few weeks ago. Obviously the Gold Coast derby. Alrighty, we'll watch the video. Just got to. Everyone can see that. Alrighty, Daniel, are you online, mate? Or Joey, are you online, mate?
Yeah, mate, I'm on.
Alrighty,
yeah, mate, I'm here as well.
Alrighty, perfect. Thank you guys so much. Okay, so I've had a chat with Daniel about this situation here too, but I just want you guys just to explain, what unfolded and how you guys dealt with that situation here.
Joey, you going first or me?
Yeah, I think if you want, it might help a bit of context to it. So what's happened here is Daniel's done well to firstly identify no foul just on that edge of the penalty area, and plays broken down and started to move upfield. As that's happened, it actually happens just as the hard cam pivots to follow the ball upfield. Pasquale, so number 7 of Gold Coast Knights, grabs the Gold Coast United player around the throat. So doing my best and following instructions, knowing that Daniel's following play upfield, I'm keeping an eye on back play from where the ball's just left. We have communication equipment for this, so it'd be similar if we didn't, but obviously just a bit more obvious how we go about it. But I've asked Daniel to stop play because with Pasquale grabbing the United player around the neck, I've interpreted it as violent conduct. I've asked Daniel to stop play. Luckily, it didn't escalate further from there. Daniel obviously quite a good short sprint, so his proximity was good in the situation. We've been able to discuss it lawfully. As I mentioned, Pasquale grabbed the player around the neck quite aggressively. So for myself, I wasn't comfortable with that, as I believed he'd committed violent conduct. I explained that to Daniel. I gave him my interpretation that I believe we should send him off and restart with a direct free kick. And luckily, he took my word for that, and I really appreciate him having that confidence in me to be able to provide him that information and him being able to act on it.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Joey. Do you have anything else to add there, Daniel?
No, I guess it just shows the importance of, you know, what you discussed pre-match. It was something that we talked about as a key point of watching back play for incidents, and I guess the temperature of the game was starting to heat up, and I needed to move upfield. So having the trust with the guys that, or giving them the confidence that if they needed to make a decision, that you know, I'll support them. It was good by Joey that it wasn't, I guess he was very, very clear in his comms to just stop play. He wasn't sort of saying, you know, red card or violent conduct while we were on the comms, while the game was still being played. It was just stop play, stop play, stop play. And then we had that brief discussion. Joey told me what he saw, not just straight away, oh, you need to send off number 7. So yeah, you guys, he clearly displayed, or I guess said what he saw. And then we agreed, okay, we both agree we're going to issue a red card. Yep, take the player aside and then issue the sanction. So yeah, good teamwork overall.
I just want to quickly ask. I saw number 14 for red coming over your way. Did you happen to mention anything to him when he was walking over at all?
No, we just said, you know, walk away, not needed.
Okay, just wanted to check as well. Just obviously we don't want to, and I just want to let everyone else know as well. Educate there is we don't want to, you know, entice that situation any further and bring more people into the situation. If it's a situation where we're having the referee talking with the assistant referee, we want to be asking guys to leave the vicinity. We've got it under control and we've got to deal with it as well. Alrighty, thanks for covering that one there, Daniel and Joey. Cheers, boys.
You're welcome.
Cheers. I just want to move on now to obviously, you know, referees in the center of play. We're not able to see everything. Handballs, okay. We are going to need some assistance sometimes in those as well. And handballs, as assistant referees, you need to provide a clear and confident information with this, because these could be sometimes big key match decisions too. Okay. So what you saw, so you got to inform the referee what picture you took of the incident, you know, what you've seen. Saying, I think I saw, does not sell your information to the referee. Okay. Saying, I think I saw, doesn't give me confidence. It's like, okay, we've got a blurred picture in a sense. If a referee is coming over for your opinion, you got to make sure to be clear and honest. If you have seen something, let them know the flow of what you've seen of the play. If you didn't see something, do not guess. Okay, you need to be honest. We don't want to be guessing. That's a big thing I want to mention too, is really, you know, when you voice it, you got to be confident with it as well. Alrighty, so just onto the next video. I just want to check before we get started. I had a chat with Nick McKay already today. Is Beck Durkow on this session at all?
No, mate.
No, alrighty. Is Jasmine on the session at all? Jasmine Bremner?
Not that I've seen.
Okay, too easy. I had a chat with Nick from this video too, so I'll break it down for you guys once we've gone through it as well. Alrighty, so we'll just go through the video.
There's outstanding goal of the night, scored by number 9, Zach Clearpool. That's sponsored by Focus Sports. The score is Olympic SC 2, Port Personality.
just quickly, in case any of you missed it, I'll just play the video just from this point here. Okay, so obviously, and I didn't ask for this one here, but I know there was an assessor here this night as well. I just want to check to see if there's possibly Linda's online at the moment. Is Linda online? She might not be online.
I don't think so.
That's okay. That's okay. Like I said, I had a chat with Nick on this one too. So he's obviously with the play here, the balls hit the keeper, bounced up, and actually hit the number 9 Olympic FC player in the arm, which has then gone to his feet. And of course, the next phase is he's taken a shot on goal. It's in the back of the net. Nick was saying in this situation here, his gut straight away, he's just like, nah, something doesn't feel right. You know, he's seen something, he's thinking he's going handball already straight away. Like he can see it. He's AR1, which is close to the other side here. From the information I've heard as well, is it was just off angle for both the AR2 and also the referee, and the fourth official in AR1 had the angle of the handball, and they'd seen that and they relayed that information. They had the comms on as well, which helped in this situation, and they were able to relay the information to one another and say, you know, it's the handball, this is the breakdown. You can see where Beck's the breakdown of the situation's going through, and there's a long pause between the game there as well. Obviously, they're all communicating to one another and discussing about the handball and getting that decision right. Obviously, in situations where you wouldn't have comms too, if the AR1 had seen something that, you know, AR2 or referee hadn't seen and needed to bring the referee over to discuss, we'd stick that flag up straight away and we'd call the referee over just to discuss what we'd seen, provide that feedback, make sure we've got a voice. And I think a key thing here too is to have that voice. I don't think I think the final score of this game was possibly 2 or 3-0, I think, off the top of my head. But you know, a situation like this could be the decider of if it's a goal winning, you know, the goal to win the game. Okay, so we just got to make sure we've got all that information correct too. Going on to the next handball video as well. I just want to check to see if Max Crane or Jack Powers is on the video tonight.
I think they both
Brad,
are.
I'm here.
All right.
Yeah, hey, Brad.
All right, excellent, Max. Excellent, Jack. Thank you. All right, I'm just going to play this video here now. I'm just obviously for everyone else watching this video too. I don't want to break down of, you know, what the referee's done and so on. I just want to break down of like a process. You know, maybe there's a process we could deal with, and obviously we've dealt with a lot of the other situations here too, with the process of the referee talking to the AR calling the referee over. I just want to make sure we're getting that process down. So I'll just click play on the video and we'll watch it. Alrighty. I'll just what I'll do is I'll just replay this up. There's that handball shout. Okay, and I just obviously Max and Jack, if I think about here, I just want to see what the process was in here. I don't know who wants to go first, whether it's Max or Jack. I know you guys had comms, but I also know you guys had comms issues just because of the rain. Was probably affecting the comms on that one too. I'll let you guys jump in on this.
I'm happy to go first, Jack.
Yeah, sounds good. Next.
So yeah, Brad, like you said, we did have a bit of comms issues. So I was, sort of hearing my assistant speaking, but not hearing exactly what they were saying. So what happened is the ball gets crossed in. The defender has his arms out in an unnatural position and above shoulder height, and the ball hits the arm. And I've seen it, and I've got sort of 80% of the information. I'm just not sure. I'm just not 100% sure on whether it's a defender's arm or an attacker's arm. I can hear Jack saying in the comms something, but can't tell exactly what. So essentially what I decided to do was to let play go on, wait for the ball to go out, and then actually just physically go over to Jack and ask him to confirm if he saw what I saw, and he said yes, so then I gave the penalty.
Yeah, I agree with that, Max. Yeah, so from my perspective as well, we were having some comms issues. So pretty much after the handball, all the way to the ball goes out, I'm sort of trying to say, Max, hey Max, what did you see? What did you see? And just that information wasn't getting through just due to the heavy rain we were having. So when the ball went out, we had an opportunity to sort of stop, and pretty much all he said was I was like, Max, what did you see? And he said, oh yeah, I saw a hands in a ball. Wasn't sure sort of who it was. And so then I said to Max, for me, I saw a Capaldo player with his hand clearly above his heads. And that sort of pieced together the puzzle, and we got to the correct decision in the end, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, perfect. And in the end, it is the correct decision. I think looking forward onto if we got put in exactly the same situation, and I'm asking both of you here as well, if you got put in exactly the same situation in another game in the future, how would the process change? How would you go about it differently?
It's a bit of a tricky one because I could say it would have been better just to sort of trust my gut, give the penalty. But the reason I didn't was that I could hear my assistant saying something, and I didn't know whether it was saying yes, 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 or no, no, no. So I don't want to be giving a penalty, then running over to AR1. AR1 says no, not a penalty, and then I have to restart with the drop ball. I think that was potentially messier than what we actually did. So it's a tricky one in terms of learning. I mean, I don't really know what would have been better in the circumstances, other than just seeing it myself and getting it right.
I think again, if we obviously without those comms there, as well, if we didn't have someone chirping in your ear, like you said, you probably would have called that penalty too. And if you weren't 100% with that call, would you have then, obviously AR1s, would you have had a chat with AR2 to see what they had seen as well, and then obviously gone, conferred, and made the decision from there?
Yeah, probably if there was no comms. I think if there was no comms, I don't think I had quite enough information to give the penalty, so I probably wouldn't have given it.
Okay. That's all good. And it's just about that, obviously that process as well. And I think that's a big thing too, is obviously, a lot of the lower leagues, we don't have the opportunity, and especially these days, with the comms, we don't have that opportunity with it on the low end games. And, our processes will be a lot different to what we've got to deal with in the top end, where we have that opportunity to have conversations whilst the game is in play, and, situations like this where we can actually make calls on the spot and also have assistants in our ears helping us with those. I think, that helps with the process of change too. Alrighty, thanks. Do you have anything else to add on that one, Jack?
No, yeah, I think this sort of situation definitely is a hard one without comms, because it would be sort of a classic situation of stopping play at a stoppage and then checking with AR1, AR2, and then trying to arrive at a decision. But I think, as Max said, I think how we sort of dealt with it was good, because we didn't unnecessarily stop play with a drop and have to restart with a drop ball or penalty kick. We restarted with sort of the correct outcome in the end. And we didn't influence the game in terms of any unnatural stoppages. So I think it was a good out and good process.
I guess the only other thing to add is we got a little bit lucky with the ball going out of play so soon. If the play could have gone on for another 3 minutes, and by that point you're not going back. So that is one flaw in the process.
Yeah. And again, it was lucky that it went down the other end. I think as well, when you get to those top level games too, they got even more options. They got the VAR being given to them as well to help assist with the decisions too. Alrighty, cheers. Thanks for your inputs there, Jack and Max as well. And thanks for letting us know with that handball situation. Alrighty. So moving forward, guys, I think one thing I'd want us all to take away, especially as our emerging guys that are coming up through the ranks, as well as our first year referees, as well as our referees that have been around for a while, as well as our referees who are in their second or third year too, is about having that confidence and trust in each other. Okay. I just want you to comment in the chat whilst I'm just having a chat with these four things I brought up as well, is what makes you confident and trust each other when officiating matches. Okay, just put a few things in the chat. I'm gonna read a few things out like I put on this PowerPoint. For me, a big thing is speaking up. So ARs have spoken up and provided information needed for a correct outcome during the game. The worst thing that could occur as well, and it's always a nightmare, is you do not tell the referee in the ref's room after the game that they missed blank or they missed this. Oh, you missed this. It is better to provide it when we're on the field. Provide that full picture. Give that information so we have that correct outcome. Don't be afraid to speak up. Previous matches, AR's helped. So if we've had games with the referees before, we've built that relationship already. AR's helped the referee in reaching the correct outcome. I mean, I know Daniel and Liam O'Connor. I know last season they actually they became best of mates because the amount of times Liam had to help Daniel out. So Daniel and Liam were more than happy to see each other's names on each other's scheduler whenever they had a game with each other for the rest of the season. Learning. So we're all learning in every game we have. Okay, so talk to each other post game. Alrighty, I think that's a huge thing, especially when we're coming through not just at the junior level, but also at the senior level, especially like we're talking first years too. Every game we have, you hop off, you have a chat about the game. That's why we're in the referee's room for an extra amount of time. Maybe there was something that occurred. Maybe the referee wasn't confident about. Speak up in the referee's room. That's why we're all here. We're all part of the same family. Maybe another referee could have done something differently. It's all a learning. It's all a learning process for each of us. And the last one is friendships, guys. We all have one thing in common here, and that is we're all part of the referee family. And I mentioned it before, and we're all part of the referee family. And we're all here we want to build that friendship. We want to build the positive culture for all of us. And that's not just for like Southeast Queensland metro region, that goes across the rest of the state. Like I said, I'm hearing great things up in Cairns, great things in Mackay, at Sunny Coast Way, as well as Wide Bay. Okay, hearing some great things, and that culture is building phenomenally, and it's going quite well. All the friendships they're making too. I stay in contact with a lot of the guys. Chris Doherty Fisher up in Cairns, I stay in contact with him, as well as Chris Coburn and Cody as well in Wide Bay. We build those friendships along the way, and most of the time we're just discussing game incidents. Like what could have we done differently if we had this this incident in a game. Just having a look in the comments. I'm just going to scroll up quickly. Confidence. Yep. Clean, crisp signals. Yep. So there's no use of the I think. Okay. It's about like, I know this is what I've seen, being confident with that. Good communication and confident decisions, good constructive feedback. I think taking good constructive feedback and being able to take criticism on the head. A lot of the time, I think sometimes I've come off a great game, and I've had a great game, but like when I hear from my colleagues that there's areas I could improve on, I actually find that more beneficial, because it's good knowing that there's things we need to work on. There's always something we need to improve on from games. Just be yourself. Don't try to be someone you're not. Be authentic. And I want to add to that. We're not all robots. Okay. We're not just all. We're someone off the field, and then when we go on the field, we're all a robot. Okay. Try and bring that on the field. If you're like a funny guy off the field, you can be a funny guy on the field as well. Okay. As a referee, open, friendly communication at the very beginning when introducing the restroom, pre-field, match inspection, and so on. Senior referees encouraging the young referees or the young ARs to call it if they see it and confident in them in the pre-match. I think that's good as well. Thumbs up from refs and ARs, knowing they are alert and aware of each other. That's a good way of communication. Perfect. Yep, constructive feedback both ways. And last one is we are in this together. Okay, perfect, guys. I just want to leave this last little bit again. If we have any questions from the whole segment here, if you guys want to voice up or put it in the chat, just let me know, and Mark and I will answer away.
Well, I typed mine, so I'll now ask it. Off topic, one of the things I'm noticing that's happening more and more, especially in youth games, is the prevalence of substitutions being made directly from the technical area and not from halfway, and coaches totally ignoring the request from assistant referees and referees to undertake that process correctly. Suggestions.
You want to go, Brad, or you want me to?
Again, I like, my suggestion would be, again, it'll come to having that discussion as the referee and the assistant referee before kickoff. Hey, like, even as the AR before kickoff, go and introduce yourself as the AR. Say, this is what my expectations are. If we're not following, then we're going to stop play, and we're just going to keep redoing it until we get it right, till we get it done correctly. That's how I would approach it. Passing that knowledge on to the other referees too, or passing that feedback on to other referees too. I'm trying to think how we could go about doing that. If
probably the best way is, you've nailed it, Brad, is get, and we will launch something shortly, get out there early enough where you can tell the coaches that substitutions are to be made from halfway. If they're not at halfway, we'll wait until they get to halfway before we make the substitution. Let's start enforcing that across the board. The coaches and all the clubs are going to receive some information shortly from competitions about what we expect for the games, so we don't run late. That'll enable our fourth officials and ARs to facilitate a quick conversation saying, guys, when you sub, get them to halfway. In a perfect world, it'll work. One hopes we live in a perfect world.
Yes, with that, talking about starting on time, the number of clubs, especially Brisbane City and Olympic, for example, who you have a toss and then they have their kiss and cuddle and don't want to start straight away, or believe that the halftime break is 5 minutes or 10 minutes of time that they can talk with them, and then they'll enter the field of play, not understanding when the match should restart.
Absolutely right.
So educating coaches. Good luck with that.
As
also
I laugh.
Referees.
Yeah, it's let's be quite open. We're all in this football game together, and quite often we're at the butt end of a lot of things. But if we work together as a group to achieve an outcome, we're likely to have a more positive result. Whereas we're saying we work for each other within the referee family, we also need to work within football and try and create a positive change. The way we do that is go out and make some positive steps ourselves. Let's be the driving force of change.
Yep.
Hang on, what's this?
Saying this seems to be a vast difference in handball interpretations between referees, particularly the deflection off another part of the body. I mean, again, it comes down to the referee's interpretation of, you know, how they've seen the handball as well. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know about you, Mark, like how they would have seen the handball. I know my interpretation of a handball is probably different to some of the other lads as well.
I will say that most coaches don't understand the changes this year between what's considered to be a natural position versus an unnatural position. And handball is one of the most hotly contested processes in football, where every time the ball hits a hand or arm, everyone yells at handball without any real concept to what handball is. Handball's always going to be difficult, and teaching referees, let alone coaches, what's natural versus unnatural. We will load up the laws of the game within the system, the modified laws, so everyone can have a look at that. There's some really good descriptions on handball for referees. So we'll put that in online.
Too easy. Well, thank you guys for coming tonight. I know it was actually a lot quicker than expected tonight as well. Thank you for your attendance and also participating in a lot of the topics as well. Thank you for your questions on that too. Again, once the video's finished, we'll upload it to YouTube. We'll send it out to you guys as well, especially for those that weren't able to make it tonight. And again, if you have any other questions, please just send a message through to myself and Mark, and we'll make sure to cover it and get in contact with you guys as well.
I just want to take a chance to say here, it's really important at the moment, if things are not working, let us know. We're working to try and fix a lot of different stuff. But if we don't know it's broken or not working, how do we fix it? Peaceful night. Well done, Brad.
Yep, too easy.